Are you ready to hoist the colors? Now, time for the most in-depth look at the world of ECU athletics. Welcome in to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Now, here's your host, Stephen Igo.
Welcome in, Hoist the Colors. It is Friday, October 18th. ECU and Army, 24 hours away from kickoff in West Point, New York. Pirates looking to bounce back after a long 2 weeks, sitting on the Charlotte loss and trying to find a way to respond to that. If you're listening to us live, we are on 94.3 The Game. We are not live streaming, or at least not taking your comments, the magic of radio, I am on the way to New York as we speak to cover the game, but also we're bringing it to you live on radio. Philip Pilkinen is producing. Philip, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. I did notice that. I was going to ask about where you were and what was going on, because I noticed that you're wearing the same clothes you're wearing Wednesday, and I was wearing the same clothes I was wearing Wednesday. So I was a little confused, or if we both just did laundry or how that worked out. So
it's just, man, I guess we really like these clothes.
We do.
We really wanted to make sure that we dressed great, and we did some laundry on Thursday, and then we came back, and I kind of still sound a little bit raspy as well. Just can't shake this. I guess I've shaken the cold for the most part. I just can't get rid of this raspy voice. I don't know what the deal is, man.
Hopefully it holds out. I'm glad you're at least feeling better. Unfortunately, today it will just be the two of us, as our friend Bobby Harvard has come down with, I think, the same cold you had, describing by his symptoms. So he's going to be texting us in his picks.
Yeah, we have yet to get the picks from Bobby as of this recording, but we'll obviously allow him to submit them late. Yeah, don't know. Obviously, best wishes to Bobby. He will not join us today, under the weather. Said there was a bug going around his house. That time of year, it's sick season, especially when you have kids like Bobby and I do, young kids going to preschool. But, Philip, hopefully you stay safe over there on the other side of the glass. Make sure you keep your distance from us, parents.
Yeah. As I was just back here coughing just now.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, fingers crossed. But, it's finally cooling off, and it's that time of year. So, I guess it's inevitable. You try and delay it as much as you can. But you can run, but you can't hide.
No doubt. Viruses. What a weird thing if you think about it. I mean, just sickness in general across the world. All right,
what's weird about it is it's like it goes away in the summertime. Why does it not stay away?
I know, man.
Nobody's sick of the summer. I mean, I've been sick once or twice in my life in the summer.
We should get into the science behind viruses and bacteria. Because if you go down that rabbit hole, sometimes I do that when I'm sick. I'm like, why do I have this virus and why can't I get rid of it? Why is there no medicine to kill it? And it's like, why do we have to deal with this? It's just, you go down that rabbit hole and watching videos on YouTube trying to explain the world. And, but yeah, nobody cares about that.
2.5 hours later, you realize you've not answered any of your own questions, and you've just wasted 2.5 hours you'll never get back.
Exactly. And I don't have time to waste right now. So I'm going to leave those rabbit holes to the people listening. Hope everybody out there is feeling good. I know you guys want to hear about football, not viruses. So we'll talk some football. Look, we've talked ECU Army a lot, Philip and I, this week. From what I'm hearing, I expect Caden Hauser to get the start Saturday. Has not been officially announced and probably will not be announced. We'll just see him take the field. If he does get the start, what are your expectations for Caden Hauser, as really in many ways the offense will, I won't say start over, but in some ways you're kind of starting from square one with the quarterback position.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? John David Baker said before the season, and he's reiterated that the playbook doesn't change regardless of who's up there. And I do believe him in the sense that they're two similar quarterbacks and that they can run the same type of plays. However, I think in the way you call them and when you call what you call does change. It's not that Jake can't run Caden's plays or Caden can't run Jake's plays, but it is kind of a restart button because, again, we said at the beginning of the year, Jake has the arm strength. He's the guy who's going to push the ball down the field. He's the guy with the higher ceiling. The problem is when you push the ball down the field, you're more vulnerable to turnovers. You're more vulnerable to playing behind the sticks. Caden Hauser, we need him to go out there and be Alex Smith on the San Francisco 49ers. Mesh concepts, drags, things of that nature, little spot routes. and just throw the ball in the playmaker's hands. And I think maybe that's the reason that this offense has been a little unsuccessful of late. Is Jake's a solid quarterback and we have a good receiving core, but Jake's the throw the ball down the field in tight windows quarterback, and our receiving core is not the I catch the ball with a guy draped all over my back kind of guy. They're the guy that's get me the ball at or near the line of scrimmage, let me stick my foot in the ground and go me a playmaker with the ball in my hands and get that yards after the catch. And Caton will throw guys open in the flats. He will hit the little dink and dunk passes here and there. That's what we need him to do. So it is a reset. It's going to look a little different. It's going to be the same philosophy. All our personnel on the outsides, the tight ends, they're going to line up at the same spot. They're going to be asked to do the same things, but it's just going to look a little different, I think, if Caton is the starter. And if Jake's the starter, I expect us to do what Jake has been successful with this year when he has been successful, those deep dig routes, throwing the ball to the outside, deep comebacks, and trying to push the ball down the field.
And it's one of those things, looking at Army, they are a team that I would say rarely blitzes. It's one of those things where I'm trying to look up the numbers as we do the show. It looks like around 20 to 25% blitz rate at most. So more times than not, they're going to be playing coverage. And that means you got to take the safe throw. Not that they won't mix it up, Philip, but when you hear that, doesn't that kind of lean more towards Hauser's game based on what you were saying?
I think it does. I think 100% it does, because when they're sending 7 guys back there, it makes those windows that much tighter, makes them harder to fit it in. It makes the receivers have to make catches in traffic. So it does help, or it does play more to Caton Hauser, and they've been saying it all week. They won't tell us who the starter is. They say the guy that's going to give us the best chance to win. To that point, I would think that would be Caton. We don't know for sure who the coaches think. But with that being said, the reason Army does this is because they do not miss tackles. They are not going to miss tackles. If you are a playmaker, you're going to have to get north and south. You're going to stick the ball out, get that extra yard. You're going to have to almost play your offense the way Army plays theirs. Yeah, you're not going to do it with the triple option and the quarterback power. But what I mean by that is 4 yards is not a bad play. Stay ahead of the sticks. You might not win on those home run plays. You're just going to have to chug a lug down the field. That's what we're going to have to do against a team that drops 7 guys and does not miss tackles in the open field.
Yeah, their defensive numbers are outstanding on paper, but I think they have been really covered up. I shouldn't say covered up. Helped by the offense. I mean, when you're only having to play – when you have to play defense with a deficit ever – I mean, that obviously helps in itself. I'm looking at the numbers on Pro Football Focus. They grade out, like from a grading perspective, which usually means execution base. Their offense is elite, the top graded offense in the country. Defensively, they grade out 64th overall, which is, obviously their coverage is good. Their run defense is grades out pretty well. And they're solid, but they just have not been tested. And so, like, their numbers are great. I would say their defense is good, but if you can actually matriculate the ball down the field, stay in the game, I think there was some yardage to be had there. So what did you make of we talked to John David Baker Wednesday, Philip, and I don't know if this is like gamesmanship or what, but he was talking about huddling and slowing down the tempo. And I don't know if this is just one of those things where, like, you just mentioned this, so Army has to prepare for everything. I can't remember if it was you or somebody else who asked a question about tempo, but he said, if we have to huddle for complimentary football, we'll do that. Do you think that's a viable possibility?
Yeah, I think so, and it's 2 different things. So Zach asked about the tempo specifically, and then I asked, everybody's saying because of what Army's offense does, this is what ECU's offense needs to do to counter and not put the pressure on the defense, not have quick 3-and-outs, da-da-da-da-da. And he said, look, yeah, we've got to stay to our identity at the end of the day, play in and play out. We've got to be us. But then he didn't contradict himself, but he did say, we have to be aware of what's happening on the other side of the football. We cannot be so much us that we hurt the defense and we put ourselves in position to lose a game, because at the end of the day, the ultimate team goal is to win the football game. John David Baker knows that. So I think if they find themselves in a situation, a.k.a. up by 10 points, I know they've wanted to establish this hurry-up identity, but how much can you really do that? Because if you can get up 10 on Army and you could play a little, back defense. I don't even know what coverage 100% go in against a team like this to keep letting up the home run ball. You can be in a really good spot, but you got to choose some clock on offense as well. So I think it's a possibility. I don't think it's just coach speak, but I think it will happen based off the scenario and how the game is playing out. I don't think it's like, hey, we won the toss, we received, let's huddle on the second play of the game after a 6-yard run. I don't think that's what it's going to be.
If ECU huddles and Army, it might be the lowest possession game that we've seen in some time. Over under half a huddle from ECU's offense on Saturday.
It's tough.
And, is it even a true huddle anymore? I guess they just kind of gather around.
Yeah.
That's what they do when they're in goal line because they're trying to hide their formation.
Yeah, I know. But is it a formalized thing where you call 2 plays and you come up and you might kill the first one? Yeah, I know. The last college team I feel like truthfully huddled was Duke when Daniel Jones was the quarterback. I know it's happened since then. So they'll stand in a group at some point. I say over, but a true formalized NFL style huddle under, unless they're taking a knee at the end of the game.
Yeah,
that doesn't even count.
I count. Yeah, if they're just not rushing to the line, if they're deliberately standing back in a group of any kind,
over.
I'll say that would count. So you're going over. All right. I don't know. I think we're going to see them get to the line and audible more based on, just, I don't know. I feel like that's a better thing that they can do. They've rushed so much, they're almost just going with the first play. And at times I think that's kind of taking away some of their strengths. But
so are you thinking it's more the Peyton Manning
style,
audible, no huddle?
See the defense, make adjustments from there.
So, and I think with the new in-helmet communication, that opens up the opportunity to do that a lot more. That'll cut off at 15 seconds, but also, I don't know, and we don't know who's starting. Do you know which quarterback they trust more kind of pre-snap reading, which guy they feel like has the higher IQ? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're both considered pretty knowledgeable guys, so that would be something that I don't know. My thing is, all right, if John David Baker is a really good offensive mind, I think he is based on what we've seen on opening scripts. He can clearly see film and design plays of work. You're taking away one of his biggest strengths if he's not able to see what the defense is doing at the line of scrimmage and audible because you're going so fast. You're taking away one of his strengths. So maybe you try to incorporate that more into the offense.
I like it. He tried to do the up-tempo because that's what they run with Jackson Dart over at Ole Miss, but Ole Miss has a little more of a continuity within the offense. So maybe, why not? Like you said, he's young to be where he is. And the reason he's young is not because he's got a rabbit's foot up his rear end. It's because he's a great offensive mind. He knows what he's doing. You can tell by talking to him. So,
no doubt. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll transition. We'll make our picks. We'll start with college on the other side. We get into NFL later. This is Hoist the Colors on a Wednesday.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Pirate game days, there's nothing like them. The atmosphere, the tradition, the matchups, the magical finishes. Be a part of Pirate Game Days. Season tickets are as low as $115. Reserve your seat today to be a part of the experience of Pirate Game Days at Dowdy Ficklen Stadium this fall.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
This is ECU head football coach Mike Houston, and you're listening to Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors on this Friday. It's not a Wednesday, Philip. Why do I keep saying it's a Wednesday?
I don't know, man. You were making like Philip and Joe mistakes over here.
It's just, gosh,
rough.
I need to go back to Radio 101. It is a Friday. It's October 18th. We're less than 24 hours away from kickoff. ECU Army. We've discussed that a lot. At this point, I'm ready for the game to kick off, see what happens. But we have to make our picks first. It is time to make our college picks. Do we have updated standings, though, Philip?
We do. I will read them off.
Yeah, I know you're real proud of yourself.
For my
so
benefit and somewhat yours, Bobby will be, his ears will be bleeding when he finds out that he is only 35-43. He did have a solid week last week, 6-5, and we had a push because we picked Commanders-Ravens, by the way. That was a 7-point spread. Ravens won at 30-23. So Bobby's in last place, 35-43. You are at 38-40, and after a wonderful 8-3-1 last week, I am 42-36.
Philip, who was our champion last year, what'd you win by, like a game or two last year? It was tight, man.
It was tight. I was in the lead most of the year, and then you guys made a push for me in the NFL playoffs, and it got tight because you were trying to make the Super Bowl worth more points.
Yeah, I was trying to make it a double.
That you could beat me.
Yeah, so you're trying to defend your title. You're off to a good start. A lot of ball left, though.
A lot of football.
NFL
you know what's the one that'll make or break us? Bowl games.
Oh,
bowl
my
games
gosh.
are so hard.
Bowl games are hard, and quite honestly, I don't want to pick bowl games. So I can't remember. I guess last year we picked some of the big ones.
Yeah. So what we did is it's like Friday each week. We were like, what are the biggest games between now and next Thursday?
Yeah.
And we picked them, and some games we ignored, and some games we didn't. We did all the New Year's 6 games, and I don't know. However, I was thinking about this. It's totally off topic, but well, not totally. If we do if we don't do shows the week of Christmas, do we do a quick Hoist the Colors podcast Friday morning maybe? And I don't know if we're doing shows the week of Christmas, but if we don't and pick games.
Well, if we don't do a podcast, we'll at least pick games and tweet them out or something.
Okay, sounds good.
So the people know.
That'll be going into the New Year's 6. Like, we need to pick those games.
Yeah. I think that's what we did last year.
Okay.
But we'll find a way to do that. All right, ECU at Army. Army, as of this recording, a 16-point favorite. This line has moved from like 15 to 17. Right now it's at 16. I said on Wednesday I'm taking the Pirates to cover. And I think I'm sticking with that. Look, I mean, I get it. We cover ECU. We're here firsthand. But this team is determined. Its leaders, at least, and its coaching staff are determined to bounce back. I think they play their best game of the year. I still don't think it's enough to win, but I think they cover. So give me ECU to cover the 16.
Yeah, on Wednesday, Mike Houston talked about how good of a week of practice it was, and he said he was 100% being serious, put extra emphasis on that. And like we said, there's so much of this money's on Vegas. Vegas ain't losing all that money. I know that's not the best analysis, but was it 97% of the money's on the Black Knights? Yeah. They ain't losing that much money. Give me ECU.
All right, so there's your pick again. Bobby out today. He's not submitted his picks yet, but we'll get him in by kickoff, and then we'll count those. Miami is a 5-point favorite at Louisville. This is a 12 noon kickoff on ABC. And, somewhat interesting game. Miami, of course, coming off the bye week after the long trip to Cal. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know if I said the spread. Miami's a 5-point favorite. Louisville 4-2. They've just been okay. I think I'm looking at Miami's schedule because they're going to lose a game, and this is going to be it. Give me Louisville.
Wow. Yeah, they are.
The smarter pick here is Miami.
Yeah, they are going to lose a game, and, they're going to slip up for a team like Louisville, but I don't know. I just don't think Louisville's that good. Give me the U.
Louisville hosts Miami, and then Miami's got Florida State, Duke at home. Those are wins. At Georgia Tech. Could be one of those
That'll
games.
be it. They'll lose at Georgia Tech.
It feels like they're going to lose either Louisville or Georgia Tech. They also close at Syracuse to end the regular season. So they'll lose one of these games. Yeah. I'm probably dumb for taking Louisville. Yeah, I was going to change my pick, but screw it.
So if you want to change your pick, change your pick.
You know what? I'm going. Yeah, give me Miami.
All right,
I'm changing my pick.
I didn't chisel it like in stone or anything. It's just on a spreadsheet.
I mean, yeah, I'm going. I'm not going to overthink this. Give me Miami. I think they'll play better. There's been a lot of talk about how they've been off the slow start, so I think they'll correct some of that in the bye. All right, Alabama, 3-point favorite at Tennessee. Are we surprised that Bama's favored here, given how they've looked the past 2 weeks?
Yeah, the last 2.5 weeks have been really rough. Take a second half against Georgia. Look, Tennessee's not great. They're a solid football team. They're not as good as they've been the last couple of years. So, yeah, I mean, look, here's the problem. If they made Tennessee a favorite, everybody would hammer Bama, and Bama won Vegas to be out a lot of money. That's why Bama's the favorite.
That's fair.
Really, so, no, I'm not surprised.
Bama, 3-point favorite, 3:30 kickoff. This is obviously a massive game, massive playoff implications. I mean, the loser could still make the playoff, but it becomes a lot more tricky. You know what? This is a weird game to pick because, neither team has played well. And usually I roll with the team, as weird as it sounds, that has not been playing well because, you're kind of building up for this game. And it's all right, they're going to put it together on this game. And so I feel like this is a game where both teams play much better than they have the last few weeks. And in the end, I think Alabama's got a better football team despite being on the road. So give me Bama. I think Bama at its best is slightly better than Tennessee.
Yeah, like we said, the last 10, maybe even really 11 quarters, because they were up 28-0 after one quarter against Georgia. Bama struggled. And, if this was last year or any year past, I would 100% say Bama, but we don't know who Kalen DeBoer Alabama is. We know who Nick Saban Alabama is. However, with that being said, I just don't see them playing really 4 bad weeks of football. I mean, the only reason they were even up that good against Georgia, were they playing good? Yes, but Georgia just made some costly turnovers. They gave Alabama short fields, and they were like dumb turnovers. It wasn't like Alabama jumped a route, made a really good play kind of thing. It was just like dumb Georgia mistakes. It's arguably been a bad 3 weeks of football for the Crimson Tide. It's still Alabama football, no matter who the coach is. So I'm gonna take them, but I don't feel real confident.
Yeah, I don't feel confident. And we haven't really seen a Nico breakout game. At some point, if you're paying a quarterback $8 million, doesn't that have to happen at some point?
Yeah, you'd think.
Or do you just keep paying him to be a
I don't know. They're paying
quarterback?
Dak $250 million.
Yeah, this is true. College football is so weird. Anyways, LSU is the 3-point favorite at Arkansas in another game that, quite honestly, hard to pick. LSU coming off an emotional home win. Now they got to go on the road for a night kickoff in Fayetteville. Arkansas beat Tennessee, which was an emotional game, but now they're coming off a bye, so they kind of had time to celebrate that. Do we really think Arkansas is going to beat Tennessee and LSU back-to-back, though?
Look, I picked against LSU last week, and the Tigers made me regret it. I'm not picking against LSU again, so I'm going with the Tigers. But I'm doing it more because I got my rear end burnt last week, and that's not really answering your question, but that's what I got for you. So,
This feels like the second straight week where, the college lines are just – I guess it's just the games, but it's just they're tough to pick, man. They're all 3-point spreads.
Yeah.
And this is more like NFL. Usually college is like 10-point spread, and you're picking, somebody to cover.
Because what's happened is the portal and NIL has allowed those teams who were like the 7th, 8th, 9th best team in the country, which used to be way better than the 15th best team, but way worse than the second best team. It has allowed them to poach really good players from Group of 5 schools and really good players from 6 and 6 barely bowl schools out of other Power 5 conferences, allowed them to compete a little better. I mean, I think that now, and we've seen it over the last couple of years, the college football playoff, even with it still being at 4, it used to be guaranteed that you were going to have like one crap game, right? Because like 1 was way better than 4 or some junk like that. Look at last year. All 3 games were close, and it's because the 1, 2, and 3 team in the country are not head and shoulders above everybody else anymore because everybody else has came up to their level.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's created a really interesting dynamic. LSU has Arkansas and Texas A&M back-to-back on the road. If they want to make the playoff, this is really a game they need to win because they also have Bama down the stretch along with Oklahoma and at Florida. Give me LSU to cover the 3. Again, I don't feel great about it. Gosh, I have 4 road picks. This is scaring me.
We have the same 4 road picks.
Yeah.
Bobby's at a huge advantage here, not going at the same time as us.
I agree. He can see what we do, and or he could fall further in the standings if he does the opposite.
It's true.
So I'm going LSU. Do you know the name of this rivalry in the trophy?
LSU Arkansas?
Yeah.
No.
The battle for the Golden Boot.
The Golden Boot. I did not know that.
The Golden Boot, great SEC rivalry because you got Arkansas at the top of Arkansas, you get LSU at the bottom of Louisiana. It looks like a boot.
Okay,
So,
that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, because Louisiana's got that little part that comes out, and Arkansas is pretty rounded off at the top. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty cool
Or
rivalry.
squared
trophy.
off at the top.
Yeah. So there's your rivalry knowledge on this Picks Friday. All right, Georgia is at Texas in one of the games of the year. Dogs are a 3.5-point dog. I have it at 4, which is what I had as of this morning.
Yeah, I typed in as 4. Do you want me to change it to 3.5 on the thing, or
we'll stick with 4.
Okay.
We always go with what I picked it as the
I
morning.
don't like it. You know what I noticed? We have a push opportunity in every college game. We have 16, 5, 3, 3, 4, and 3. Dang it. When you start doing half points.
I know, I don't like pushes at all. It feels great when you get a cheap push, but when you have a bet 1 and you get a push, it is pretty annoying. Georgia at Texas. Gosh, Texas is so good. Georgia, though, this is like their chance to say, hey, man, welcome to the real SEC. I just don't know if it matters because they're so good. And Georgia hasn't been playing that well. I'm just going to go with my gut here. I'm going to go Georgia on the road to win outright. I bet against Texas last week and it burnt me. This is my last week betting against Texas if it burns me. I'm going to make that proclamation.
Georgia, they were probably the better team down in and down out 2 weeks ago against Alabama. Like I said, that first quarter dug themselves into big of a hole. On top of that, I still just don't think this is the Georgia of the past 2 years. Texas is the best team in the country. The game is in Austin. They're coming off a big win at the Texas State Fair in the Cotton Bowl against arch rival OU. They're riding high, baby. Hook 'em horns.
Texas, if they win this game, I just don't see them losing. They have at Vandy, Florida at Arkansas, Kentucky at A&M might be a tricky game to close the year.
Yeah, they'll be hyping College Station.
Yeah,
Oko's going to have them boys ready.
That'll be their toughest game. But, yeah, Georgia, you look at them, conversely, they still – if they lose this game, you got the Florida-Georgia – I know Florida's not good, but it's still a rivalry game. At Ole Miss and Tennessee at home. So, they could be in danger of losing 3 games if they drop this one. So, I think they want to guarantee a shot at the playoff. I think they're getting in either way, but I think if you win this one, you're basically in. So give me the Georgia Dogs on the road. All right, Kansas State, 3-point favorite, going to Morgantown, West Virginia. This is the second straight week West Virginia has hosted a ranked team in a night game at home. Last week, they couldn't get it done in a loss to Iowa State. And Kansas State is another ranked team, 17th in the country. The Wildcats are a 3-point favorite. Kansas State coming off a big road win over Colorado. Now they got to go back on the road to West Virginia. I think that catches up with them, and I think West Virginia wins this one. Kansas State drops their second Big 12 game of the season.
West Virginia hosted Penn State earlier in the year. Ranked team, night game, lost. Hosted Iowa State last week. Ranked game, night game, lost. I'm 2-0 picking against the Mountaineers. Make it 3-0. Give me the Wildcats.
Kansas State, I think undoubtedly the better team. If you're Neil Brown and you can't take advantage of one of these opportunities, then
bye-bye.
That's disappointing. Yep, he's going to go. Because they've got Arizona, Cincinnati on the road after this. They're going to lose one of those games as well.
They'll lose at Arizona. Cincinnati stinks.
Yeah.
But they'll lose at Arizona.
All right, there are your college picks. Some great games. Should be a fun weekend. Love to see the ECU noon game. Get that done, and then we'll be able to watch some great football throughout the day.
Yeah, and we mentioned it on Wednesday's show, that North Texas-Memphis game. And that's not the sexiest game in the 7:30 window, but that's a throw it on your iPad kind of game just because of what it means for this conference.
Yeah, a ton of good games throughout the afternoon and evening for college football week 8. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll make our NFL selections against the spread on the other side. This is Hoist the Colors on a Friday.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Hey Glenn, let's talk about a new program at Greenville Nissan.
Sure, sometimes bad things happen to good people, like credit hiccups.
Greenville Nissan just rolled out credit forgiveness.
If you've been making consistent car payments and you're tired of that high interest rate, this program is for you.
Get into a new Nissan with a manageable payment and keep that cash in the bank.
Come visit us at Greenville Nissan and drive your Nissan home today.
Hurry, this program ends September 3rd. Greenville Nissan, where we drive to serve.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arrgh!
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt & Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt & Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's cut in color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Here there be pirates. Back to Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo. How good is this on 94.3 The Game?
Welcome back in, Hoist the Colors on a Football Friday. Again, Bobby Harwood out today. He is sick. We'll get him back on the show next week. He's still going to make his picks, which we're doing. We just made our college picks, Philip Pilkington and I. And we'll still count those as long as he gets them in before kickoff. And so let's make our NFL picks. Of course, we picked Denver, New Orleans earlier in the week. That has already happened. Now let's go to the Sunday slate. Philip, we've got the Lions and the undefeated Minnesota Vikings, which is just still mind-boggling to say with Sam Darnold at quarterback. The Vikings are a 2.5-point favorite, though, at home. And I think, are they coming off a bye?
They are coming off a bye.
They are coming off a bye.
They were in London 2 weeks ago.
I mean, this has got to end, though. The Vikings can't be this good. And so I'm gonna continue my road theme from college. Give me the Lions on the road. You know, the only thing that scares me is they played incredible against Dallas, and usually when you play that good, it's hard to follow it up with another good game against a good team. But I'm going to go Detroit here, and I just think they're better than the Vikings.
So, yeah, it's weird. They're coming off, like you said, an emotional win. It's going to be a little weird without Aiden Hutchinson. Obviously, between now and then, they could trade for Hassan Reddick or Max Crosby, but even if they traded this late, he probably wouldn't make the game because they were a Super Bowl contender. Now they're an edge rusher away from being a Super Bowl contender. It's weird with them coming off that emotional win on the road, back-to-back road games. But I think law of averages, if I pick the Lions, it gives me the best chance to win here with them being plus 2.5. Because I could, even if the Vikings win, I think it'd be very, very close. Like they could win by if they win, it's gonna be 3 points max. I would love the spread at 3.5. I'd be hammering the Lions. But yeah, just give me Detroit. I think it gives me the best chance to get the pick right.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Vegas, they know, man. 2.5. Like there's a very real reality the Vikings cover, obviously. So. But I think Detroit's a better team on a neutral field. It's just that Vikings at home off a bye is a major advantage. So we'll see how it plays out. Texans at Packers. Packers a 3-point favorite at Lambeau Field. The Texans have been good. I mean, they're 5-1, and I still don't feel like they've played their best football. The Packers, I don't even know what to think of them. You know, I would love to know the forecast for this game. Let me see if I can figure that out. Looks like 56 degrees and rainy.
Ooh,
all right, give me the Packers.
I was about to say,
I mean, we know the
VP
Texans
candidate
are better,
Tim Waltz was there yesterday. It looked a little chilly, but it was sunny yesterday. Or sorry, Tuesday. It was Tuesday that he was there.
Yeah, Tuesday, man. Get it right.
Bad. Sorry. Yeah, this one's weird. Like I said, I'm kind of ready for I'm waiting for the sophomore slump of the Texans and of CJ Stroud. And like you said, they haven't been great, but also they're winning. Green Bay, I never get Packer games right.
They're a weird team.
Yeah, I picked them right last week at home against the Cardinals. You know, I think they ride high off that win. They look good. Maybe they got some stuff figured out. I guess give me Green Bay. They're less banged up than the Texans as well.
Green Bay is the pick as we are both on Lambeau Field. The Carolina Panthers, Phillips Carolina Panthers, are going to the Washington Commanders, who are Bobby's team. The Commanders are a 7.5-point favorite. And this is where it starts to get interesting for me because, the Commanders are a much better team. But the Commanders being favored by this much is rare territory. They have a young team. They're coming off a loss. They played pretty well at Baltimore. The Panthers are good enough to cover this spread offensively. And the Commanders' defense is not good. All that being said, I think the Commanders' offense is going to score a lot of points on the Panthers, and I just don't see Carolina being able to keep up. So I see this being like a 35-24, maybe even a little higher, 38-27 type game. But I think Washington covers.
You know, last week it was very prevalent that the Panthers were missing Derek Brown and that they were missing their best two linebackers because it was 3 plays of Tyler Algier up A-gap, and then he would get tired, and there was 3 plays of Bijan Robinson. The only thing that will be different in last week's game and this week's game is you will change Bijan Robinson to Brian Robinson, and you will turn Tyler Algier to Austin Eckler. Same result. Give me Washington.
Chiefs are at the 49ers. 49ers are a pedestrian 3-3 against the unbeaten Chiefs, but San Francisco is the favorite in this game, Philip. 1.5-point favorites. Kansas City coming off a bye. This is a 4:25 kick from Levi Stadium on Fox. And struggling with this pick. Going to be honest. I think the Chiefs are due for a loss. But again, off a bye with a good coach makes a difference. Give me San Fran. I don't feel great about it, but I'm going to take San Fran to win and cover the 1.5.
This is weird. Andy Reid, off a bye, 21-4.
It's crazy.
That is nuts. However, he was 13-1 as the Eagles head coach, 8-3 as the Chiefs head coach. Here's a bad stat for Andy Reid. When the opposing team is coming off a bye as well, he's only 1-2. The 49ers did play last week, but they played on Thursday. So technically it's not a bye, but it is a mini bye week. The 49ers are 3-3. They have not played well. But I'm going to have my friend Buddy the Elf help me with this pick and say...
Francisco, that's fun to say.
Francisco is fun to say. Give me the 49ers.
Do we have all the same NFL picks thus far? This is a little scary.
Yes, this is bad. Well, hey, we started that way for the first 4 college picks, and then we had the next 2 different. So 4 picks down, 2 to go, and then I don't know what we did yesterday. I can't remember what we did yesterday in our Saints Broncos.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember either. I've already forgotten that game.
Yeah, it's been a long week, man.
Jets are a surprising, at least to me, favorite at the Steelers. The Jets are a 1.5-point favorite. They're 2-4. Pittsburgh, I guess, is starting Russell Wilson. This is the Sunday night game. I guess there's some intrigue surrounding this game, but I'll be honest, man. I have zero desire to watch Jets-Steelers on a Sunday night.
I'm going to contradict you here. And it's just like the Steelers are, what's their record? Are they 5-1?
They are 4-2.
4-2. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right. They lost the Colts, and then they lost to somebody else.
The Cowboys.
The Cowboys. That's right. The weird thing is here is just like they believe they're the playoff contenders. Their defense clearly is, but we don't know about the offense. How's the offense going to look different? Do the Jets bounce back? Do they look different with Devontae Adams? I think like this helps set up so much of that AFC wildcard picture. We at least it makes us think we know what the heck's going to happen down the stretch. So I guess from that standpoint, it's intriguing. Do I have I guess you're right. I don't really care to watch it. I just care to know how it turns out.
There are storylines, but I just kind of want to fast forward to the end.
And I also it's one of those things where it's like we'll have watched a London game, we'll have watched a 1 o'clock game, a 4 o'clock game, and like, do I just want to watch Family Guy or something at this point?
Turn it on Netflix or something.
It might be time. We'll let Nick and Joe hash it out and let them fight.
This is the Nick and Joe ball.
I know. I wish. It stinks. We're having Joe on the show later on Patrick's show, but Nick's on a field trip right now, so we can't let him hash it out. I was going to see if we could get a Reaction Monday final segment out of him, but Nick has class on Monday during our show. I was thinking we could do the first 3 segments ECU and the final segment Pancake versus Joe fight, but gosh dang it, Nick, he's got too much going on. I don't know. I know we're just blabbing now. I don't know.
We're trying to delay making this pick.
This game up.
Yeah,
we can't do it.
I don't know what to pick here because Russell Wilson is not. He's not the guy.
I don't know who to pick straight up, much less against the spread.
Yeah, I mean this is just this game. This game is just it'll probably end up being a pretty good game in terms of being a close game, but I keep picking the Jets, and I keep picking them because I'm like, this is the week their season changes. I think the Jets are done. I think the Jets are done. They can trade for Devontae Adams. Aaron Rodgers is still 65 years old. Give me the Steelers. This ends the Jets season, and now they're going to win because I'm picking against them.
Here's the thing. I think this game could probably end in a 20-20 tie.
It very well could.
And due to me thinking that, and that being my prediction, 20-20 tie, you heard it here first, the Steelers would then cover the +1.5 if the game ends in a tie. So I will also take Pittsburgh because that's the best I can fathom up here. I don't know. This is
Can't pick a winner, so pick a tie.
Yeah, I'm picking a tie.
Ravens and Bucks. There are 2 Monday night games, including one on ESPN Plus. What are we doing here?
I don't know. In the past, the 2 Monday night games have been 7:30 and 8:15. But the second Sunday night game or Monday night game is like Chargers Cardinals, I think. And I don't even know who the host is, but either way, it's
Arizona.
Western time zone. Okay, Arizona. So Phoenix. So it's in the Pacific time zone. So they are doing it at 9 actually. So this is 8:15 and 9 o'clock. I will definitely be watching Ravens Bucks and probably not giving a rat's rear end about Cardinals and the Chargers.
I think ECU basketball opening the season against North Carolina Wesleyan might draw similar numbers. Obviously being a little facetious on ESPN Plus, but I just don't understand unless they're just. I guess this is simply a move to try and get ESPN Plus subscribers. That's the only thing I can think about.
So I did not realize. I figured one of them would be on ABC and one of them would be on.
It's just straight ESPN Plus.
Okay.
So
I'm hoping though at least in the Southern California IA and in the Arizona area they will at least put it on local TV. They usually do.
You'd hope so.
Because that would not be fair.
But I'm just seeing straight ESPN Plus. So, I mean, certainly a move to try to bump those subscription
numbers up. Because, the Prime games usually, the Panthers play on Prime. Usually it's on, it's like whatever channel hosts your preseason games. Usually you get them.
Right. Interesting. So,
I guess we're not, why are we talking? I'm sorry. I got us off on a tangent. We're not supposed to talk. We're not even picking that game.
I know. But I was bringing it up because I'm like, what are we doing with the 2 Monday night thing? Either way, Ravens Bucks is the ones we're picking. 3.5. This actually could be a good game. Ravens 3.5 point favorite. Bucks at home. The one thing the Ravens can't do is stop the deep passing game, and that's something the Bucks are really good at, and that's actually why Denver went in there and shut them down. And I'm picking the Bucks at home to cover. Even if they don't win, I like their chances of covering 3.5. I could see the Baltimore Ravens winning via a late score. So give me Tampa at home. And also you got Baltimore, which has played 4 consecutive games, all good games, all wins. But Cowboys, Bills, Bengals, Commanders, all emotional games. I think they're due for a letdown.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. Like I said, I'm really going to struggle this week in my picking straight up. I was 13-1 last week. I know 2 people, my dad and then my friend Pat, also went 14-0 last week, just straight up. And last week it kind of went how everybody expected. This week it's going to be tough to pick games in general. I don't know who I'm going to pick when it comes down to time to actually pick games. Because of that, so much of a toss-up by default, I guess I'll kind of take the dog because I get more points there theoretically. Higher percentage chance of winning again. I kind of feel this way, the way I feel about the Lions-Vikings game. It's like if the Ravens win, they'll probably only win by a field goal. So I like the 3.5 instead of the 2.5 here. So, yeah, I mean, I say either Bucks win or Justin Tucker nails one from 63 to win it. So either way, the Bucks cover. So give me Tampa Bay.
There are your NFL picks from Philip and I. Again, we'll get Bobby's in later when he's feeling better. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show. This is Hoist the Colors on a Friday.
We're down to the final days of our summer sales event at Greenville Toyota.
Lease new RAV4s, $319 a month. Test drive the redesigned 2025 Camry, all with our advantage.
It's your last chance to save at Greenville Toyota.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Hey, on the mountain we've got a saying. Get off your... Show off.
Mountain Dew.
Summer is here, and Sawyer's Fun Park is having a toddler summer special. From 10 a.m. to 12 noon, Monday through Friday, Sawyer's has a $10 2-hour unlimited pass for ages 2 to 4. That's one toddler and one parent for just $10 every weekday morning. Sawyer's Fun Park summer hours are Monday through Thursday from 10 to 8, Fridays and Saturdays from 10 to 9, and Sundays from 12 to 8. Book your tickets online at SawyersFunPark.com and beat the heat this summer at Sawyer's Fun Park.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Everybody loves tiebreakers.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Hurry, the summer savings event is coming to an end. Don't miss your chance.
Enjoy your summer in a new Corolla for just $219 a month or a Highlander for only $399 a month. Got a trade? Get cash for it or trade for a new Toyota.
Hurry in to Greenville Toyota today.
Back to Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo.
Drink up me hearties, yo-ho.
On 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors, final segment here on this football Friday. We've talked a lot of football this week. We've talked a lot of baseball. Something we haven't done is have our usual NASCAR Friday final segment. Because
have we done that at all this year?
I think we haven't done it since August.
Yeah.
At least. Maybe even since we brought the show back. What's going on, Philip? Aren't we almost done with this long season?
Yes. So the round of 8 begins this week. Joey Logano snuck into the round of 8, so Bobby was all happy. On Sunday, he was rubbing it in my face. I had some colorful language in the group chat. So Alex Bowman originally was one of the 8 drivers that advanced. He got disqualified last week. That didn't automatically disqualify him from the playoffs, but it was an elimination race, and it brought him down to not enough points to advance. So we had 8 drivers to go, 4 races to go. This round of 8 is the next 3 races, and they're all vying to be in the championship 4, which is 1 race, 4 guys. I mean, everybody is on the track, but whoever finishes the best out of those 4, they don't carry over any extra points. It's just as good as you can that day, and you get 1 champion. So it's exciting that it's down to this time of the year. You have some tracks where you usually don't have wacky outlying winners. So it's good tracks to, truthfully find out who the best 4 drivers are. And I'll be honest with you, we were talking about before the show. If you told me pick 8 guys to be in the final 8 going to this point of the year, I probably would have picked these 8. I think these have been the most consistent drivers over the last couple of years, and I think we're going to get a true champion this year.
So your final 8 are Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, and Joey Logano. Again, like you said, pretty big names in NASCAR these days. My guy, I say that with parentheses because I haven't, or quotations, I haven't really paid attention. Ryan Blaney in 5th. Won it last year. He's got 2 wins this year, 9 top 5 finishes. What are his chances of winning it again, Philip?
I think he's going to have a good race at Martinsville. So we got 2 intermediate tracks coming up at Las Vegas and Homestead Miami Speedway. The Fords have really struggled of late on the intermediate tracks. Obviously, that's actually probably Ryan's best style of racing. But at the end of the day, you got to have speed. You got to be set up well. Of course, Jonathan Hassler's a great crew chief, obviously a championship-winning crew chief. So I think he stands a good chance. But a lot of people, the experts, are saying that they feel really good about Larson, Bell, and Byron due to those being the hottest 3 drivers and making the championship 4. And then they believe that the other 5 guys are almost kind of equal in grabbing that 4th spot. But, hey, you know what? You win one of these next 3 races, you don't got to worry about points because you lock yourself in automatically.
And I guess at this point, you're just trying to make sure you get into that top 4. So 3 races left, correct? And then it'll cut off for the final race.
Yep.
Top 4 and the highest. They could finish, next to last, all in order. But the highest finisher is going to win.
4, yeah.
So you're just trying to get in that final 4.
They could all wreck on the first lap and wherever they were running when they wrecked.
That's crazy, man. And that'll be Phoenix to wrap up.
Yeah. Which is, this year is lucky for these people that Phoenix is it's falling a week later. So normally they go there and they're having to convert times based off them being on the Pacific time zone Friday and Saturday. And then Saturday night we go into standard time and they're always in standard time. So then it's like a 2-hour difference in them and the East Coast, which is what they reference in TV markets. At least they don't have to worry about that this year with Arizona not changing times.
The old Arizona time change. Well, there's your NASCAR update. We appreciate you bringing that insight to the show, Philip, and good to see us coming down the stretch. We'll continue. I tell you, now that we're in the final 8, we will try to mix that in more going forward, even with all our football and MLB talk. We got to get out of here. It's been a fun week. Enjoy game day. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. We'll see you Monday.
This has been Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo. Tune in weekdays at noon for all things ECU sports. Get a recap of the show at 943thegame.com, on Twitter, Facebook,